Watford 0, Manchester United 1.
Alan Cork scored twice for Wimbledon in their 5-2 win at Oxford, their 5th successive victory. And Paul Goddard scored both the Newcastle goals in their draw with Sheffield Wednesday. Liverpool stay 13 points clear of Nottingham Forest, who play Everton tomorrow. Arsenal drew 0-0 with Queen's Park Rangers. Wimbledon move up to 5th. In Scotland, Frank McAvenny scored both the Celtic goals as they beat Rangers 2-0 in front of a crowd of 61,000 at Parkhead. The teams shook hands before the start, determined not to repeat the scenes at their last meeting, which led to 4 players, including McAvenny, being charged with behaviour likely to cause a breach of the peace. One of them, the Rangers goalkeeper Chris Woods, who was sent off in the last match, was taken off with a suspected fractured rib this afternoon and could be out for 6 weeks. There was also an Edinburgh derby. In that game, Hearts lost ground on Celtic when they were held by Hibernian before another large crowd, this time at Tynecastle.
Hearts, who lost to Hibs for the first time in 7 years in their last meeting, were anxious to avoid another slip in the title race. Kenny Black there almost making the pressure pay off. Then, with Gorham well off his line, John Robertson trundled in a shot which almost caught the keeper out. But Hibs had chances, this nod down by Kane giving Eddie May a shot at goal. In the second half, when John Collins dispossessed Kenny Black, keeper Smith had to be sharp. Hibs then caught the Hearts defence static and Kane thought he'd opened the scoring, only to be ruled offside. For Hearts, Cahoon ran into space and needed only one fine touch from a teammate to pierce the Hibs defence. But the scramble characterised a run of missed chances, which has seen Hearts now draw their last 5 games.
Aberdeen also played out a goalless draw against Dundee United, so Celtic extend their lead at the top of the Premier Division to 3 points. David Lewis of England beat a strong field to win the Brooks International Cross Country in Belfast, but there was a setback for Steve Cram, the former world 1500-metre champion, who finished 17th and may now revise his winter preparations for the Olympic Games later in the year. It was the biggest field ever assembled for the race, and it included many of the athletes hoping for selection for the British team at the World Championships in New Zealand in March. Tim Hutchings, the 1985 winner, and David Lewis led for most of the 5 miles. But as they started the last lap, Lewis began to pull away. It was a lead he was to hold to the finish, with Hutchings second and John Richards third. But for Steve Cram, back in 17th place, a disappointing day and time to reassess his winter training.
Today was pretty poor, and it just shows the difference between the likes of myself and the guys who are at the front. And you know, I think I'll probably have to seriously revise my plans for the winter.
The women's race was won by Liz McColgan, formerly Liz Lynch, for the 2nd year in a row. The Commonwealth 10,000 metres champion led from start to finish. England's rugby selectors were given more problems after today's trial match. The B-15 beat the A-team by 13 points to 7. Rob Andrew, the B-team fly half, set up the winning try for Brian Barley. England play France in 2 weeks' time, and the selectors are due to name their team on Monday.
And that's the news and sport tonight. From David and me, good night.
Tomorrow, see for yourself how last year's licence fee was spent as BBC One invites you behind the scenes in a 2-hour special report.
You never go into the programme at 6:30 with a running order which stays the same throughout the show.
Virtually everyone in the newsroom now sits in front of a battery of consoles which in effect put each of us on the bridge of the Starship Enterprise.
Hello, BBC London! Can we come in and talk?
Martial's applause for Terry's entrance.
Very elderly gentleman.
Yes, I know. Yeah. Well, they're all upstairs having a good time together.
That's right. Get a few drinks into this quickly.
If you do not giggle, you will be shot.
See for yourself tomorrow at 8 on BBC One, followed by a chance to ring in live to the BBC's Director General and Chairman in an open-air special.
And the number to ring is 061 814 0424, and the lines are open now.
Hello to you. Well, as you've heard in the news, it's been a very stormy day today, and on the satellite picture you can see these heavy showers working their way in across the country. An interesting area of cloud is this one out here. That's likely to get larger and push its way in across from Wales across into England as we go through into tomorrow. Now, the weather map looks like that. The isobars very closely packed together, thus the stormy winds, and they stretch right the way out into the Atlantic, so really no great change in the next 24 hours. A very showery night tonight, and as you can see, a stormy one down in southern parts. And every now and again we're going to get these bands of heavier showers and stronger gusty winds pushing their way across from west to east, right across England and Wales and southern parts of Scotland in particular. Tomorrow then, well, basically a showery day. There will be some sunshine between the showers in many places, particularly up in the north. But as I've already said, later on in the morning, I think cloudier weather with some rather more persistent rain coming in across the West Country into Wales too. That's going to move quickly east, getting over to the eastern side, and then later in the morning through the afternoon across into the Low Countries too. So gradually brightening up from the west. So a showery day, some heavy ones, and as you can see here, some very squally winds down in the south, stormy winds still, and as they go into the west, not feeling quite as warm as it has done recently. That's it from me. Bye-bye.
This is BBC1 Scotland. Now here's Archie Macpherson from Parkhead with the New Year's first sports scene.
Hello, a very warm welcome to Sports Scene and a very happy new year to everybody out there from everybody on the programme. What better way to start 1988 than at a Celtic Rangers game in the pouring rain, no less. Well, you know, let's not kid ourselves. There's more than 2 championship points at stake today. There's a reputation of this very old fixture because of what happened last time. Well, both managements have been at great pains to show there is harmony between the two clubs, and the players demonstrated this before kick-off.
A great welcome for the two sides coming out together.